Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, prepare your ear holes for the best wrestling the hard-hitting wrestling show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Ovi Muniz. Quite a segment that we got going on today. I'll be welcoming my crew in just a bit. This Sunday, October 25th, it will be Hell in a Cell pay-per-view match, which currently right now it's locked into 4 matches, but more to come. Probably and most likely is going to happen towards Friday Night SmackDown. So the show for today for our prediction will be postponed until Sunday during the kickoff at 06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday. And you can catch it live right here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, 6 o'clock p.m. with the cast as we predict who's going to win at Hell in a Cell. But this episode is kind of a little special here because it's nothing but friends. Now, if you're old school like me, back in the 80s, if you guys remember the group called Houdini, you would know Friends, how many others have them? And of course, there's always different scenarios how you're supposed to be best friends and you got each other's back, but sometimes they be talking smack behind your back. Sometimes they do things, whether they steal from you, take your girl from you, and whatever other examples you could come up with. Sometimes friends could be two-faced, as people say it in this present time. But one particular one that we'll talk about is going to be about Sasha Banks and Bailey, how they end up in the situation that they're in right now. Then we also got something going on with Retribution and the Hurt Business and the Fiend moving to Monday Night Raw. And to close everything up, of course, we're not going to forget, we have the Tag Team Turmoil to see who is the greatest Tag Team Turmoil champion of all time. And that, my friend, will lead us to our crew, Big Jace, Hector V, and Frank Cuesta. Thank you guys for coming on the show. You already heard my intro. Let's get to business here. Sasha Banks and Bailey. Finally, we're going to get the match that we wanted for a long period of time. And here we are, which is technically not locked in, but it will be. Because somehow, some way, Sasha Banks is going to make Bailey sign that contract. It might be a backstraight brawl, but let's look at it this way. They had a little confrontation last Friday, and this is the part where it's the takeaway. Okay? And I'll start with you, Hector. Friends, what does friends mean to you?
Oh man, that it just you can go with that as far as like true friendship. Is something that's really rare. I mean, when you have that one person or several people in your life that will understand you, not judge you, be there for you in your darkest times, no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that friendship can just build a bigger bond, a deeper bond. As far as best friends or even brothers or sisters or whatever the case may be. I mean, you and I can contest to that, over 20 plus years of, what started off as just acquaintance, military buddies to becoming brothers. You know what I'm saying? You go through your good times, you go through your bad times, but you learn to overlook that and work things out, and, setting that foundation on what it means to be with each other, locked in together and not allowing anything to separate you.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, I can relate to Frank the same way. For those of you guys that don't know, I served in the military for 20 plus years. But in my first duty assignment, actually, probably the first year and a half, I came across meeting Hector. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you had traveled from Korea. And we met up, I think it was February of 2000, nope, 1996, 97, excuse
97,
me,
97, yeah.
97. And then it was almost the same type of scenario because the fact that I came back from Korea, and then in I'm sorry, 98,
Hmm.
and I met Frank,
Yeah.
and we established a bond together. We're going on 20 plus years as well. Then I retire and I go to Connecticut School of Broadcasting in Farmington, Connecticut, and I meet Jace. And here we are starting this new friendship going on what, a couple of years. And by all means, it's always the brotherhood, you know. But we all been through situations where we had a friend and that friend turned out to be the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to read a quote that Sasha said Friday. Friends don't turn their backs to each other. Now that one is very powerful. Friends don't.
Yeah.
All right. But when Sasha Banks came back with her blue hair, new looks, and everything else, she attacked Natalia, right? And then all of a sudden became besties with Bailey. Was Bailey really in for that friendship from the beginning?
No.
You know what I mean? Because she was already the WWE champion. So, I mean, I didn't see any indicator. I mean, there were signs I saw Sasha staring at it. Maybe, one day she wanted to be a champion. But she did have her opportunity when she defeated Asuka. And they were all wearing all the gold. See what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. There's just something that's off real quick on this storyline, Frank. Sasha's been helping her all this time. Can you relate to this?
As far as, yeah, I mean, Sasha's helped her. All right. That's what friends do for each other. You're having a bad moment, you give me a call up, hey, blah, 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 this is going on, one or the other, I help you out, you help me out. So, and in Bailey's case and Sasha's, Bailey never really helped Sasha Banks out much. And that's not a friend.
No, absolutely. Jace, remember those matches that they had to where Bailey used to run her mouth and make Sasha wrestle just to get people try to get a win to be the number one contender to face Bailey. I mean, I don't know how many times that's happened, but what's your point of view on all this?
Well, let me bring up a little anecdote to help bring my point across. It's if you watch the show, it's no surprise. I was gone for a long period of time. That's because I was battling depression. I was actually hospitalized because of suicidal thoughts and stuff. But and that's something I deal with and fight every day, and I've grown from it. But Ovi was a true friend. He visited me in the hospital. He came to my house and asked where I was. He called. He was one of the first people I called when I was able to get my phone and get some numbers out of my phone in the hospital. And even while I was taking my time, while I was getting my mind right, Ovi would still call me and ask me how I'm doing. And that's a true friend. A true friend is someone who, when you are at your lowest moments, doesn't turn their back to you and tries to help you through that. And you look at Bailey and Sasha. Yes, they got to the success together, and they each one helped each other bring them up. But then once the belts were gone, and on Sasha's side, once she lost the Raw Women's Championship, and they lost the Tag Team Championship, Bailey didn't help her in her failure. She didn't help her while she was at her lowest. She turned her back on her and attacked her. So that's the real thing here is friendship. It's more than it's friendship is not just like a business thing. Like, it's not working with someone to try and bring yourself to the top. And that's what Bailey used Sasha. She tried to use Sasha. She was never really friends with Sasha in this run. She used Sasha to help become Bailey dose straps and that stuff. But once Sasha was at her low point, Bailey never helped her.
Yeah, and I want to add to that because, what Bailey did for Sasha wasn't to me being a friend. It was more about her being more in the spotlight, seeing like showing people, look what I've done. You know what I'm saying? For her, and even when Bailey, when Banks was out, Bailey was in the spotlight and, being the champion for so long and defeating everybody the way she was doing it. So now I think, that spotlight got to her head, some people in life, are willing to betray years of friendship just to get that spotlight, just to have everything focused on them. And I think that's what Bailey did here,
Right, and you can look at it another way. Status quo. She wants to be on top. You said spotlight. I say, hey, she wanted all the gold. And in reality, people want a lot of money. You know what I mean? Especially what we're dealing with in today. People want to be rich. People don't want to, be struggling for money all the time. People want to live comfortably and stuff like that. But for her, she wanted all the things. She want money, the glory, the whole 9 yards. And when her battle buddy, supposedly her best friend, wasn't in the same level as her, she pretty much kicked her to the curb. And a lot of people, there's people out there that do that. Oh, you don't have this, you don't have that. Everything's about fashion, or everything's about, cars or jewelry or something like that. If you're not in that level, you're pretty much not, one of the member of the group and everything. And you don't need friends like that. I mean, you're right. And Jason, I appreciate you opening up and speaking up of the things that you dealt with.
I appreciate you.
We all, for some odd reason, hit rock bottom at a certain point, And a true friend will always be there no matter what the cost is. No matter what.
That's true.
And definitely, with that too, we've been thinking about, when asking about you, Jace, and that when you come back, you pick up right where you left off with as far as the show. You see what I'm saying? You are no less of a person because you was gone for so long. You know what I'm saying? That's what's true friendship. You could just pick up right where you left off at, and bam, everything be right back to the way it was before you left. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, that's the meaning of friendship. I mean, I left the military way before you guys did. And Obi and I lost touch for a nice chunk of years. It was one of those. I think I want to say it was social media that brought us back. I think the beginning of freaking all this social stuff. I think MySpace. I looked up Obi. I looked up Ovidio Muniz. And hey, there was Obi, and you know what? We
does MySpace still exist?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like this.
And
remember? Oh no, go ahead. You know that one friend that's on everybody's page?
Tom.
Same look, man. The guy never aged. But yeah, but you're right, Frank. You're absolutely right. And sometimes, in good terms, the right tool is you have social media for good things. Reunite with people, not this negative stuff that's happening around the world with fake news or putting politics and
cyberbullying.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's nonsense, man. It's very nonsense. But yeah, I mean, this is a good turning point, and I hope that once this match is locked in, Sasha Banks actually has the most experience in Hell in a Cell. Last year, she went against Becky Lynch, and it was an epic match. And matter of fact, they opened the show last year, Hell in a Cell, and no other storyline, no other matches were up to par with them. And that's why I think, in my opinion, that Sasha Banks has an opportunity, has an advantage to beat Bayley and become the brand new SmackDown Women's Champion.
I would want to say that, but I think I think her emotions will get in the way. You know what I'm saying? Because she is so worked up right now for wanting to get back at Bayley right now. And I mean, I think we all agree we want to see Banks win this, but I think just the emotional part of it is going to get in the way. And Bayley, being the snake that she is for almost a whole year now, getting away of beating everybody, she's going to find a way of trying to escape with this title. I mean, she's been coward enough not to sign a contract. So
Yeah, but you know what? The emotions will help because you're locked in that cell.
Yes, you are.
Right.
You know
It
what I mean?
depends
It's
on the
not
type
like-
of match.
But Hell in a Cell is a match. It's a
No,
no
I
disqualification.
That's if they're in the Hell in a Cell match.
They are. It's live.
So all the
that
matches
that
are
was the
Hell in a
contract
Cell.
for,
Okay.
for the woman's side. That is the match to be inside in Hell in a Cell. On the men's side, we have is Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. But there's something else that might be coming up, especially when we talk about friendship being, two-face. Sometimes, the friends that are not really your friends be spying on you. And that particular person is none of them Mustafa Ali. Now, you saw the opening of Monday Night Raw. They tried, and I'm sorry, but I wouldn't have done this. They tried to surround the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Now, I don't understand why they would do such a thing, But next thing you know, they disappear and the Hurt Business come on. So Frank? What's your take on this?
Wow. They got major balls. All right. How in the hell are you going to go ahead and just surround the Fiend? Okay, out of all people, the Fiend, really? You really want to go that dark route? I mean, you're nuts.
Not only that you gotta go against the Fiend, now you just pissed him off, but then you got the Hurt Business. So now you're dealing with two people, two groups.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Jace, what was your reaction to this?
It was interesting, but also kind of disheartening because I really like what Retribution's doing. But if you go against the Fiend, you're not gonna win. So I'm hoping that this is like some sort of it's gonna lead to some sort of feud between Mia Yim and Alexa Bliss rather than all four of the big Retribution guys having to go down to the Fiend because they're not gonna beat the Fiend. I hate to say it, but it's just not happening.
Okay, so Hector, let me ask you this: the stare down between the Fiend and the Hurt Business, is it just a stare down, or is there something coming up, something big?
I think it's a mutual agreement. The enemy of my enemy is my friend here. So it's like, I think the Retribution is biting off more than what they can chew. I know they want to make a statement, and it's one thing to make a statement against the Hurt Business, but now I think they're trying to elevate that statement by going to the big dog. And I'm not talking about Roman Reigns. I'm talking about the Fiend. And I think it's almost like, okay, if I can make an example out of the Fiend, then maybe the Hurt Business will back down a little bit. But it's backfiring on both ends for them. I mean, unless they got more ammunition in the back, this is going to backfire. They already lost their first match, and it was against the Hurt Business. And the Fiend is not you started something, the Fiend is going to finish it.
Yeah, but also if they want to make a statement, they have to do this stuff, which is what I like. They went after Drew McIntyre. They surrounded the ring with Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton. They've gone after everyone, and that's what I like. Like, they're coming in, and they are coming guns blazing. They want blood, and they want to take over the WWE.
But the Retribution is going at a lot of people. I mean, they showing their presence, but it's not the same as how the Shield did it when they made a real statement. Like, they took people out. You know what I mean? Retribution really hasn't done really much. And then Mustafa Ali is saying that he was the guy that was a hacker on SmackDown. What does he have on every superstar? I'm just curious, because if you can't win your battles physically, mentally, you can still get them. So what does he have that he was hacking and knowing everybody's business?
What if, just throwing it out there, what if the Fiend is part of the plan with Retribution to take down the Hurt Business, leaving the Hurt Business to have to recruit to help them out?
I don't see that happening.
I don't.
Why would you have the Fiend attack Retribution the way he did, though?
Exactly.
To throw the Hurt Business off their game.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
No.
It.
What if?
You're what?
You got your tinfoil hat on there.
You're like
He's talking about let me in. He keeps saying it, let me in. This could be a way of letting him in.
Or could it be that Retribution joins the Fiend?
okay. Now no Retribution, but I will say at least one of them. Now,
Right.
he did do a mana claw on one of the Retribution.
Right.
Remember, when you get that mana claw, the spirit of the Fiend is in you. So which one was it?
Ali.
No, it wasn't
He
Ali.
did not give the Ali.
He didn't get Ali. He got the other guy.
Was it Djokovic?
Yeah, T-bar.
There you go.
T-Bar, right?
T-Bar.
Yeah. So pay attention to that when he's like, let me in. Was not to say that now they got one bad apple in that group. And then we talked about friendship before. Maybe that faction may be disrupted very quickly. We shall see. But hey,
Maybe Titus O'Neil would join the Retribution too.
yeah, they whipped this. I
Yeah,
didn't get that one. I didn't get that one. But hey, Hell in a Cell. Somebody needs to help me out on that one. Because how would you crew somebody that likes to dive underneath the ring? I don't know. But Hell in a Cell coming up. Like I said, these are the match cards that we have so far. And if you bear with me here, swap. And hi, there we go. Bam. Hell in a Cell. So we got here, which pretty much maybe, I wouldn't consider this the main event, but I think it will. But Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are going at it. This is the I Quit match. All right. Then we also have, wrong one. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Potentially, which we're more likely going to see, the WWE Women's SmackDown Championship, Bayley and Sasha Banks. And then this was confirmed yesterday that these two will battle. And it's pretty interesting that we have with Jeff Hardy and Elias. Now, Jeff Hardy, they stretched it out to the beginning of his return when he was being accused with a DUI. Now, I'm sorry, I still remember that replay to where they said that the suspect identity was a redhead. Now, Elias is not a redhead unless he was wearing a wig. But,
No, Elias was the one that got hit by the car.
Right. But then they were battling each other and bringing back that storyline. So if they're bringing back that storyline and it wasn't Elias, are we going to see Sami Zayn in the picture, which he's on SmackDown?
Sheamus, maybe?
Yeah,
Well,
I think
he
it's
already
all
battled Sheamus. That's the whole thing. They already battled each other. So that's a little tricky right there. If you're going to bring back that storyline, who is the guilty party?
Well, you could still bring, if it is Sheamus, you could do Sheamus versus Elias.
Right.
But how many times have we heard Sheamus say it wasn't him? Even though he accused him of having a DUI with his, drug addiction and everything else, alcohol addiction. So many times he had opportunity to say that it was him, but it never happened. And Sheamus is not the type of guy that's going to hide it till death do his part or anything
Maybe.
like that.
Maybe he wants to take it to his grave.
He's pleaded the fifth.
Exactly.
Sheamus doesn't seem like the most honest of guys right now. So
I just don't see where Sami Zayn will tie into this. I mean, he's over on SmackDown. Now this has become a Raw issue, though.
Sami Zayn was disgruntled, okay?
Right, I get that.
The picture. They stripped the Intercontinental Championship. That was during the time that they had the tournament. So if I was Sami Zayn, I'll be pissed off. I want to disrupt it and be like, we're not making this tournament happen. But eventually they did. Then he comes back, and then he goes against Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles, wins the title back. Yeah. But that storyline still hasn't been closed. And I'm not convinced it's Sheamus because we've already known. We could have closed the chapter already, but they decided to bring it back.
They couldn't have closed the chapter already because Elias was out. Elias was injured. It needs to get closed because Elias was the one that was hit by the car.
Okay, so if it was him, King Corbin?
King Corbin has no hair.
Absolutely. But did he wear a wig?
Did he wear a wig?
Then it could be Hector then.
Yeah.
You know
Frank
what? It
is
was
more-
Rikishi.
It was Frank. Frank is more of a suspect on that one, though.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but are we going to ignore this picture of Elias? His shirt should say "Work out with Elias" because that dude is buff in that picture right there.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. He looked like a little miniature Macho Man right there.
Oh, he got his back
Exactly.
brush.
I'm
Exactly.
so glad Elias is back because he's so good, and I just want him to like take off and go to the moon.
And the thing that bothers me, he's on Raw, but his storyline ain't finished with King Corbin either.
Mhm.
Remember, the storyline is he got injured by King Corbin. He is out. So why not bring him back to SmackDown for just a couple more weeks before he goes back to Raw? I'm just
Well,
saying, man.
is he officially drafted to Raw?
Yes.
He was drafted. Okay, well, there goes that angle.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I want to give props to SCW, the wrestling channel. Steve, thank you for listening to our show. Shout out to the HHW crew. Keep up the good work, guys. I appreciate your comments, man. He's doing very well. So if you haven't checked his channel out on YouTube, by all means, follow him there. Also, you can follow him on Twitter. That's right, SCW, the wrestling channel. You got good stuff on there, man. Good stuff. I love his feedback and how he analyzes all these superstars. So check him out, SCW, the wrestling channel. And we're moving on here to the tag team turmoil. Okay, these were the final four: Strike Force, the Hardy Boys, the New Age Outlaws, and the New Day. And we already had the lineup. So if I'm not mistaken, the lineup is this: the Hardy Boys versus the New Day. The winner of that match goes against the New Age Outlaw. And then the final is with the winner of that match goes against Strike Force. So hand it off to Hector V. By all means, who is the first pick to make some choices here?
Well, I was analyzing this match back and forth, and you know what? These two teams has never faced each other unless you got the WWE 2K19 or whatever the case may be. But what's crazy is that both these tag teams have a similar opponents, okay, in the Dudley Boys, okay? And so I kind of went back a little bit in the archives and kind of checked things out. And, we never did establish, as far as this match, whether or not the New Day is actually face or are they somewhat heel. You see, so we got to take a lot of things into consideration here. But I'm going to start off stirring off the pot here. Okay, I think that this match would have been a great intensive match back and forward. Okay, but I think at the end of the day, after a hard-fought battle, the Hardy Boys would have pulled out a victory over the New Day.
No. The New Day have done everything. Everything. They were the first tag team Hell in a Cell. And then I was live there at Mohegan Sun as Big E and Xavier Woods took on a tag team turmoil match for Kofi to go to WrestleMania. So I'm going the New Day all the way here. I was there. I witnessed with my own eyes what they can do in this type of match, and they're going to get it done.
Now, don't forget the New Day lost the tag team turmoil match at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, but even though these guys have not gone at it together as a team, okay, between Kofi Kingston did go up against Jeff Hardy in a gauntlet match with Kofi Kingston won. In that case, I take the New Day.
Wow.
Now, it's kind of funny you both go for that, but if you look back, they struggled against the Dudley Boys. They even had to cheat themselves away to win that match.
It doesn't matter. A win's a win, right?
But that's
A win's a win.
That's the problem with the New Day. They had to cheat to beat the Dudley Boys, who's almost as extreme as the Hardy Boys are.
Yeah, of course, because the Dudley Boys never cheated before in their lives.
But let me add more to that right there. When you add the Dudley Boys, you got to add Edge and Christian to the picture. You see what I'm saying? But you're talking about tables. You talk about ladders. Who? Let's put it this way: Kofi King, the New Day, they know about ladders too. They
know how to
fly.
do.
They
know how to
fly.
go
And
through them. They know how to go through the tables.
so, if anything, I want to say I think that the New Day has the total package. I really do. I think that. I mean, we wish we could have this match right now. You're absolutely right. But the thing is, that tag team is so powerful in positivity that we didn't witness see Matt and Jeff go at it at each other. All right.
Yeah.
So I pick in the New Day.
Bye-bye, Hardys.
There it is.
There it is.
They are now in the ring, exhausted, sweaty, tired, and here comes the New Age Outlaws. Oh, you didn't know?
The New Age Outlaws, man, these guys were nasty. I give them credit. I think that they flourished when they were the DX. I'm not discrediting them how they started because they were tag team champions before they were DX. But I think they flourished even more with them. And they were dominant. You know, even when they left and came back, they were still dominant. They still got the crowd going. But the intro is no better than the New Day. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
Don't
still
you
picking the New Day
dare.
on this one.
beast.
I'm picking the New Day.
All right. So you think the New Day will come out winning even after a big match against the Hardy Boys?
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
They have
Yes,
enough
sir.
stamina to do that.
Is there a Freebird rule in effect for this?
Well,
Did I just say you no? Did I say no to you?
No, you didn't say no. I guess there's a Freebird rule.
Last week I said no. You
I
were
don't know about
denied.
that. I was
If
denied.
it's not in effect, you at least have the third person out on
Exactly.
the ring for them,
You know
helping
what?
them.
I'll take it even back. I think the reason why the New Day won is because we had Big E and Kofi going at it, and then Xavier came in because you've seen him doing many times. He stuck that trombone in there,
damn.
and the New Day wins.
Well,
I picked the New Day.
I disagree because I think the New Age Outlaws being more fresh and with knowing that what the New Day can do and having that third person, they have DX on their side to keep that third person out of the way to distract the New Day so the New Age Outlaws can do what they got to do to take down Kofi.
You're right, but also this is tag team. This is tag team turmoil. What is the best tag team? The New Day has never gone against one another. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, they have. Regardless of whether they're working together now, they still have that history of going at one another. And that's still somewhere in the back of their minds. So I think the New Day, they just have better chemistry. And like I said earlier, I was there. I witnessed them in this type of match. So they're going to get it done.
And if I'm not mistaken, the New Day are the 8-time tag team champions and the longest 10
They're
time.
10 time.
10
The
time.
10 time
They've had 10
WWE World Tag
Team
Champions.
Fair enough.
But could they handle the Strike Force?
Bye. No.
Arriba.
I'm sorry. Arriba, get out. No, sorry. Hey, listen. In my book, New Day wins the whole thing. Strike Force is irrelevant. They got put in because you know what? Our favorite guest, Tito Santana, picked them and they got a free pass. But you know what? Tito's not here. Rick Martel's not here. So you know what? New Day it is.
I would like to say that I think Rick Martel was so tired of losing that he had to turn his back on Tito, and the rest was history. So
Yeah, Rick did
I
that
got-
before at WrestleMania.
New Day wins, man.
New Day wins. Power of positivity.
Yeah,
I
I don't
got
know.
a feeling
One of the podcasts.
Hector wanted this big old turmoil that One beats the other. I think he has Strikeforce winning the rest, man.
No, I don't. Strikeforce wasn't going to win this match. I mean, their style of wrestling from their era was not going to be able to compete to, with any of these tag teams that were in there. No matter who was in there at the end with them. So because you're talking about the Hardys, the New Day, the New Age Outlaws, Strikeforce was just more of a disarray of a team than any of those three right there. So
Tito and Rick would be in awe of Big E. They would have never seen someone like that back in their day. Just straight that big, straight muscles all over. Nah.
Are you all right there, Jay?
No, tell me I'm wrong. No one was like that. No one was built like that back then.
Rocky
I think
Johnson,
he had a man crush.
Tony Atlas was.
Okay.
And that was two. Two.
But not as big as Big E.
I don't know.
I beg to differ on Rocky Johnson. I think Rocky Johnson was more beefed up than him.
Tony Atlas was a monster.
Now,
Yeah,
however, Big E is athletic and he has the skills. I give him that much. I think he has more attributes, right, than Rocky Johnson. Like I said, back in the day, they had that old style wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling today is not how it used to be. So that's just
Yeah,
a lot
it's a
better.
little more.
Also, they
hardcore.
would get mesmerized by Big E's hips, and they wouldn't know what to do.
You all right, Jason? You've
That-
been practicing
that-
a lot, huh?
I'm telling you, that's a man crush.
Dude, I love Big E. I'll go ahead and say it. Sure, I got a little bit of a man crush. He's awesome.
Hey, I give props to Big E for sending a message to my kids during the pandemic when we first started back last year in March, and he had his intro when he actually introduced all three of my kids' names. So pretty tight on that one.
That's
So, but he got me sold on that one, and I think if the Freebird rule was in effect, then I think I would still pick the New Day because they'll be fresher anyway. So, yeah. But then you also introduced the DX, man. And I don't know. I mean, Triple H been doing the dance with Stephanie McMahon. I think he would have been like, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, y'all handle your business, man. I'm still doing the WWE. But anyways.
I don't think they would have sold Shawn Michaels. He would have just super kicked everybody. You get a kick there. You get a kick there.
Then the Undertaker comes and gives him the tombstone and
What are you
and
talking
there
about?
go.
Andre the Giant comes.
Oh my God! Don't get started with Andre the Giant. This ain't the
Where's
battle
Joe?
royal.
Where's Joe? What you need
Well, there you have it. The New Day is the tag team or Turmoil tag team champions.
For the
No,
record, who'd you have, Hector?
I had New Age Outlaws
Okay.
winning it all.
actually, in my opinion, I had the Demolition. I had the Demolition. I had
Demolition
the
was-
Road Warriors. I'm sorry, the Legion of Doom. I forgot who I had on the other bracket, but I know I had the Demolition. I don't think it was because of
You had the
Demolition that made
Edge
the
and
tag
Christian.
team division. Yes, there you go. And I don't even think Edge and Christian could even handle the Demolition
No.
because Edge was in the WWF before. So
Dude, we had Tito Santana on this show and said, I didn't want to go against the Demolition. They were so stiff and they were so scared they'd hurt you.
but yeah, he still picked himself as winners.
Yeah.
So, but hey,
I-
if there's anything that I got out of this show from the tag team turmoil is having Tito Santana on the show and give us our insights how things were back in the '80s. I have to thank him. I hope you're listening, Tito. Thank you very much for being on our show. And I also gotta thank Joe because Joe was the lead on the interview, and it was a success, man. He led us all to have this big conversation, and I've heard a lot of podcasts before when they try to interview him, and I didn't feel like it was the right way. I don't think it was professional, and to have him on our show for him to be open, I got to give him props. So he's my winner, He's my MVP, but he's not the champion on this tag team turmoil. So
Definitely.
But
agree with
big
that.
ups to the New Day, man. Hey, this Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, well, I have Jace, Frank, and Hector and myself. We'll be on doing the kickoff show, and we'll make our predictions then to see what is the total match cards there is. I'm still expecting 7, but right now we're down to 4. But catch more information on hhwshow.com and also visit clovercrestmedia.com. But before I let y'all go, here's a quick commercial. Oh, yeah, I even forgot Rob Benjamin. I was on his show, I'll Piss You Off, shortly. So if you haven't seen that show, by all means, check it out. It's hilarious every Monday. I was on his show yesterday. We were talking about some old school stuff back in the military. But if you want to get worked up, that's the man you need to talk to, man. Rob Benjamin, I'll Piss You Off shortly. Awesome. Also tomorrow, Jace will be on the spot, okay? On All Four Downs podcast. So if you are a college football fan, you want to check it out tomorrow, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All Four Downs. Listen to the recap of what happened in Week 7. Week 8 is coming up with the Big Ten's debut to the college football. So on behalf of everybody here in Clovercrest Media, thank you for watching the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show.
The Cross'em Wrestling Entertainment Podcast presented by Clovercrest Media is what you AEW fans have been looking for. Noah Cross and Tyler Bard give their take on every week's episode of Dynamite. If you are a massive AEW fan, then it is time to join us every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Stay Cross'em.
Visit the HHWShow.com sportscast where you can find all the news, rumors, updates, and predictions from the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show, All Four Downs, Join About the G-Men, and Keys to the City. If you ever want to do a podcast, this is the place to do it. Starting at $15 a month, you can get unlimited hosting and $50 a month for the full package. Visit clovercrestmedia.com for more information.
A big thank you to the StreamYard for their fine streaming service. On behalf of HHW crew, I am Obi Muniz. Thank you for listening to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show.